churches. The churches come out of Doc Murphy Ministries.
Yeah.
So our movements, the vision is that there's going to be 5 church movements. We're a church planning operation.
Yeah.
And so 5 churches multiplying. So each one of our churches, they're meant to multiply. And as Pastor said it in his interview, if you guys haven't watched his interview, he put it in the Mobile Leadership app, and then it's also on the Doc Murphy Ministries website. If you want to watch that, it's on there. He said a church planning operation. And then as I was going over this, I was saying we're a multiplication operation.
Yeah.
It's what we do.
Yeah.
And if you go to the Place Church, if you go to the North City Church, if you go to the Doc Murphy Ministries websites, all of them say this. From the very beginning, from the start, multiplication is a part of our DNA. We're not meant to be one large church. We're meant to be a movement of churches. So let's think about DNA for a second. Our DNA, like in the natural standpoint, is what makes me me. Is what makes me my skin, my hair, everything. If they took a skin sample, if they took a saliva sample, if they took a hair sample, they would all point it back to that is Shayla Hastings. That is who she is.
Yeah.
So if you apply that to the churches, you see the church's DNA, in their DNA, who they're supposed to be, is multiplication. It's what they're supposed to do. We're all created to do.
Yeah.
And so I do have an example, a more visual example, that I wanted to give you guys to kind of help break it down. And it does involve Play-Doh.
Play-Doh.
Yes, pass this down. I only have 8, but I don't need one. Okay. So Acts, can't get it over. Yes, okay. So Acts 8:4. Did that on purpose. The only other color was blue. I was trying to be slightly generic too. So Acts 8:4 says that they went everywhere spreading the word.
Y'all can have it.
Yeah.
I'll stand for a second. You guys can see this.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Thank you.
So if you notice in the graphics for Doc Murphy Ministries, it's hashtag everywhere because we believe in going everywhere.
Yes.
Say it.
So here's my example, and this is to help us get the concept of multiplication. And so on the graphs in front of you is, I want you guys to draw the lines with me as I say we're going from here to here.
Cool.
And this is communities around Dallas because that's what I'm more familiar with. But for those of you in Longview, think of your communities as we're going through this. Okay. So here's our starting point. This is East Plano campus for North City Church. So Pastor Doc and Pastor Mary came into the city. They came and they started talking to people. They started doing outreach events. They got people interested. They had interest meetings. They had a launch team. They started. This is East Plano. So then growth. We had a few more people. And here's the question for you guys. Is all the potential church growth supposed to sit here in East Plano?
No.
No. Exactly.
Good.
So as we grow, then what do? We take a team. We send them off. Now North City Church is in Bedford. So we've sent people off. We didn't lose people. What we did is the people that came in, we trained them. We made disciples. We taught them how to be like Jesus. Then we trained them up to be leaders, and we said, okay, now you go. You go and you do the same thing, same culture, and we're going to go teach the same message to Bedford. So now this launch team does the same exact thing. They go, they make disciples, they go into the city, tell people that we're coming, they start, and then they start that process. Now North City Church begins. They keep growing, because they don't just stop. Bedford grows. Then North City Church does it again. They get some more people. Because it's all North City Church, but this one campus does it again.
Good point.
Now they're in McKinney. East Plano starts growing again. Raising up leaders. Each one of them's doing the same thing. They're raising up leaders. They're making disciples. They're training people. And then what happens next? Bedford gets a team.
Yes.
And they expand into Garland. I'm trying to think of the next one.
Okay.
And then they all keep growing, and they keep growing, and they keep growing. And then the next one multiplies. They send a team off to teach the same message,
Come on.
to build disciples, to train up leaders, and grow. And then as you can see, it just keeps happening over and over and over until we've hit every single community in DFW.
Come on.
Yeah.
And again, remember, it's the same church. One church multiplied. This isn't the main campus.
Come on.
This is East Plano. It's just where it sits. We're in that community. We're in McKinney. We're in Oak Cliff. We're in Bedford. We're in Euless. We're in all these places around the DFW. And if we apply it to the TPC, we're in Longview. We're in Kilgore. We're in Marshall. We're in Tyler. And then y'all's vision is the whole United States. So you're in San Diego. You're in New York. You're everywhere.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Does that give you guys a visual of multiplication?
Absolutely.
It's the same culture. It's not that this one comes over here and this one does something different. No. It's all purple for a reason. Because this looks exactly like this. If I go to this church, I should feel the same way as if I go to this church.
Good.
They're all
Right.
one
Very
church,
good.
one culture, one leadership. We all have the same
DNA.
process.
Good job.
Good job.
Good analogy.
Thank you. So we're one church multiplied. Do you guys have any comments? Do you guys have anything to add before I just walk them through that step process? Because I explained it a little bit, but I want to give them the steps. No, okay. So the 5-step process, and I mentioned it as I was giving the example. The first thing we do is we evangelize. We reach out. We go into the city. We tell people we're here. We do community outreaches for them. We tell them about Jesus. Then the people that come in, we disciple them. We train them to do what Jesus did. The next step is mobilization, where we're assembling people in key positions of serving. Because we're reproducing leadership. For those of you who've gone through the leadership courses, this is something Pastor talks about.
Right.
Where it's not just we're reproducing the physical buildings of where we meet. They train us so that we have the same message, the same culture, everything. Then I come to the next people, say I'm in small groups. I raise up the next leader in small groups. I identify that leader. I raise them up to do the same thing I'm doing. They're teaching the same message. They're presenting the same culture. And then you guys all do the same thing. So we're reproducing leadership. Then the next step is leadership development, where we train people to train people. We're actually in the training process. So we've identified them. We've put them in areas of serving. Now we're training them. We're reproducing that leadership culture. And the last thing we do is we expand. Church expansion. We go out and we plant those campuses. And we do the vision of Doc Murphy Ministries.
Praise God. That's a good